I would like to show you something interesting to me as far as the timing of when did the stories, the histories in Genesis get recorded. I would like to point out to you one interesting verse that I found, and I don't see it anywhere else in the book of Genesis quite like this. It's verse 1 here. You can see verse 1. I don't know what translation that is. I'm going to give us the parallel translations. NIV, this is the written account. Just skipping down through here. English Standard, this is the book of the generations of Adam. New American Standard, this is the book of the generations of Adam. King James, this is the book of the generations of Adam. Here's one, this is the document containing family records of Adam. This is the list, family records, historical record in the International Standard Version. JPS Tanakh in 1917, this is the book of the generations of Adam. New American Standard 1977, this is the book of the generations of Adam. So you can see the pattern here. Now if we go and take a look at the Hebrew, take a look at this word here, this second word, seper. It looks like it's translated as book, scroll, certificate, bill, book, letter. Most of the time book. If we take a look at the Strong's definition, we can see here some kind of a writing. Translated as book dozens and dozens of times. Translated as letter a couple dozen times. Scroll 9 times. It seems apparent to me that Moses compiled from sources that were written down before he did the compiling, because this is chapter 5 verse 1, so it does not appear that this is intended to title the entire book of Genesis. I note that the other generations don't say this is the book. They certainly could have been scrolls of their own. They don't actually say that, but I don't think that that means this applies to all of those other generational lists. It seems to me this is a specific document of some sort called the Book of the Generations of Adam. I would imagine it probably starts in chapter 2 and concludes here in this section, because the first chapter would have had to have been written by God himself. If you want to insist that there was no writing at that time, although I see no reason why you would insist on that, nonetheless, Jehovah was the only one there in chapter 1. Although he's not mentioned by that name, God was the only one present. Adam is created at the very end of that chapter. And to insist that he would have had to pass that on to Adam verbally so that Adam could then create writing, even though we know that God processed animal hides to make them coats of skins, and we know that early documents were made from animal hides and rolled up into scrolls. By the way, scrolls have some security measures built in that are not true with paper and are not true with books. With a scroll, it's all one piece, and when you unroll it, you can clearly see that. You can see clearly that no portions have been added or removed. At any rate, I think this is worthy of strong consideration, that the book of Genesis is compiled by Moses. using prior written sources that were written down before he wrote them. If Moses wrote this under the inspiration of God, or if Moses wrote this while he was transcribing words being dictated by God, then I think that we would the entire portion of Genesis would be titled altogether, such that the title would be either at the beginning or at the end of the entire book. Because we do have generations of Noah, generations of Esau. We have generations of multiple others, about 10, I believe, in Genesis. So, for your consideration,